Hey there, guys. So if you've made it this far, you are joining me for week 3 of the May lesson. So we know in our bold acronym, week 3, BOL, is leadership. And so this week we're going to be talking about a way, an opportunity to learn something that will help you develop your leadership skills. And I really appreciate and love that they were diligent in including leadership development in the Bold Core Cadet program. I believe that teenagers have so much to offer in leadership in our church, not just the church, in the world, not in the future, but in today. And so I appreciate that the Core Cadet program takes the opportunity to help you develop those leadership skills, because you guys have thoughts and opinions and a voice that God has given you. And so these leadership lessons just kind of help you develop those things and to gain some experience into using them, and that'll only help you in the future and help your core. And so I absolutely love that, and I hope that you take it seriously and that you put these things to use. So this month, in the month of May, the leadership component is object lessons. All right. Raise your hand. You ever been to Sunday school preliminaries? I don't know if you remember Sunday school preliminaries. We don't do them as much anymore as we used to. But when I was a kid, many decades ago, Sunday school preliminaries was a thing that you always did before you went to Sunday school. You met, and there was like a devotion and a penny march and all those kind of things. So if you've ever been to those, you've probably experienced object lessons. If you have ever experienced children's moment in your Sunday morning worship services, then you've probably experienced object lessons. Object lessons are just a way to take a tangible object, something that we can see, something that we're familiar with, something that we know, and use it to explain something that's intangible, something that's abstract, something that may be a little hard for us to understand until we relate it with something that we do have experience with. And so this week you're going to be learning all about that, how to put together object lessons. You're going to be learning about how Jesus and other areas of the Bible used object lessons to teach stories and principles and things to their audience. So of course, I can't give you an intro to this week without doing an object lesson. So what I need you to do is go get some Kleenex or a little bit of toilet paper. We are on a shortage, evidently, so don't be wasting all the toilet paper. But you can put pause. I'll promise I'll wait right here for you. Go get your Kleenex and then come back. All right, you got your Kleenex? So what I want you to do now is blow your nose. All right, blow your nose. I'm not actually going to blow mine because you don't need to hear all that. But blow your nose. Now I want you to look at it. I know, gross, right? But if you can't make an object lesson out of bodily fluids during a pandemic, when else can you do it? All right. So look there at what is in your Kleenex. See what you can observe about it. Is it clear? Is it green? Is it some other color? Maybe, I don't know. Do you see particles? Just see what you can observe in your snot. I know, this is gross, but we're the youth department. We can get away with this stuff. All right, your snot tells a lot about what's going on. I don't know if you've ever gone to the doctor and then maybe you have a sinus infection or something going on, and they always say what color is your snot? It's a good indicator of what's going on in your body. If your snot is yellow or bright green, it usually means that you have an infection somewhere going on. And so they know you have a sinus infection or whatever, they know how to treat it. So it's a kind of a good indicator of what's happening inside your face, what color your snot is. More than a few years ago now, I had the opportunity to go on summer service corps. This was way back in 2002, so 18 years ago, almost 20 years ago now. And I went to Chile, primarily Santiago, Chile. And when we got there, there were some officers who were stationed at the DHQ in that division who were from the Central Territory. And so they came to welcome us at the place we were staying and to share a little bit about maybe some things that we would need to know coming from America about the culture that we were going to be working in, and just to kind of welcome us there in Chile. And so I remember as they were wrapping up, they were getting ready to walk out the door, it was almost an afterthought, oh, don't be afraid when you blow your nose, it's because of the pollution. And then they just kind of left. That was all they really said. And I didn't think anything, I mean, it was kind of weird, but didn't really think anything about it until the first time that I blew my nose and about had a heart attack. And then I realized what they were talking about. Because of the amount of pollution that hovers over the city of Santiago, and let me tell you, like, you could not see it at all. Santiago and the whole country really is beautiful. And you could not see the pollution until you blew your nose. And that first time I did it was really freaky. It wasn't clear. It wasn't even green. It was like this deep, dark, almost charcoal color. Just really gross, and a color I had never seen come out of my nose before. And it was because of the pollution. While I couldn't see that the air that I was breathing in was dirty and filthy, when I blew my nose, I could see the effects of everything that I was breathing in. And you know, it's a lot like our lives. When we take in things, music, videos, conversations with people, what we're reading, what we're studying, what we're doing on the internet, all of those things, we can't see the effects of them. We can't see what that's doing inside of our bodies, but the effects that come out, the words that come out of our mouth, the conversations that we start, maybe the gossip that we pass around, all of those things are indicators of what is going in. Just like that pollution, you may not be able to see it, but you can see the effects, or people around you certainly can see the effects of what is coming out. There's a verse in Philippians 4:8 that says, "Finally, brothers, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things." You know, if you want your spiritual snot, so to speak, to be clear and to be pure, then what we are putting into your body, our bodies, has to be true and noble, right, pure, lovely, admirable, excellent, praiseworthy. If you're putting in things into your body that are the opposite of that are lies, that are fake, if the persona, how you're acting in front of people is fake, if it's untrustworthy, if it's wrong, if it's filthy, if it's ugly, if those are the things that we're engaging in, then that's going to show up in our spiritual snot. That's the effects that are going to come out of our hearts and our minds, and with our words and with our actions. So if we want to be pure, really pure, and we want the things that come out of us to be pure, then we have to be careful of the pollution that we're putting in to our bodies. My mama used to say, garbage in, garbage out. You can't speak or have product coming out that's clean and pure and holy if the things that you're putting in aren't clean and pure and holy. If it's garbage that you're putting in, garbage is what's going to come out. You know, I was talking with a young adult Bible study that meets on Thursday nights on Zoom. If young adults, check it out. Don't sleep on it. It's really good stuff. It's like the highlight of my week. You can just send us a note and we'll give you the Zoom link and all that stuff. But we were there last week and we were kind of talking about some of the things that are happening in our world today with Ahmaud Arbery and just all these kind of crazy things that are happening. And I said it in that Bible study, and I want to say it to you as well, that the coronavirus, these things that are happening, it's scary. It's something that should be taken seriously. It's a serious thing. Even as young people, you may feel invincible. The people around you certainly, first of all, you're not invincible. But there are people who are in much more vulnerable situations around you. We should be taking these things seriously. But while corona can steal your body, sin can kill your soul. When we ingest those things, the pollution of the world, it's not just our body that is harmed, it's our soul, and it separates us from the love of God. And while, again, corona might take our bodies are temporary things. We know that. I don't want to minimize the grief and the loss that people are feeling. It is horrible things that are happening all around us. But the fact of the matter is our bodies are temporary, whether it's corona or something else. One day our bodies are going to be over with. And then it's on to eternity, whether that's eternity in heaven with the Lord or eternity in hell separated from him. And so corona can take that temporary thing away from us, but it's just the temporary. Corona can't affect your eternity, but sin can. Sin can separate you from the love of God, but you are responsible for that. All right. In the same way that you can arm yourselves and do the best you can to avoid corona, there are so many things that you can do to avoid sin in your life. We don't want to fall into these same sad circumstances that we see happening with people who are making wrong decisions, people who are just out in the world doing crazy stuff. There's a TikTok guy that was killed in a drunk driving accident. I'm sorry, his name just slipped right out of my head. This huge YouTube TikTok star, and his life is over because he chose to drink and his friends were drinking, and then he got into the vehicle with him. Now, sometimes it's things that steal our body that aren't our choice, like Ahmaud Arbery, who was doing nothing wrong, just jogging innocently through a neighborhood. But the sins and the actions of other people who made decisions that ended his life, and now those decisions are harming their soul. It's just on and on and on. We can't minimize the effects of sin in the world, the effects that they have on innocent people, the effects they have on ourselves when we make bad choices. There's so much, and that's why when we speak about these things to you, we do it because we love you and we want to keep you from these harmful situations, from harming yourself, from harming others. We don't want that for you. And so we speak to you in order to warn you against them. All right, I started preaching and now I've taken way too much time. So I just want you to know, again, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, think on those things. The next time you blow your nose, remember Captain Jamie's words. All right, let it be a reminder to you that in the same way we're diligent about what we put in, not sucking in pollution or all kinds of other gross stuff, we don't need to be doing that with our soul either. I also just wanted to say real quickly that because this is week 3, next week, week 4, Miss Paula Bridges will be bringing the video to you. And then May means the end of our course. So we won't start Core Cadet lessons up again until the fall, which means that this is the last time that I really get to address you as your Core Cadet leader, which is horribly sad for me. So I just wanted to take a minute and encourage you to continue on with these lessons. Core Cadets, if you really invest in the Core Cadet program, you will gain so many things: leadership development, discipleship. You get a college scholarship. I don't know many other churches who invest $8,000 in their kids just for completing a discipleship program. All of those things are great, but the most important thing is that you will grow in your relationship with the Lord Jesus Christ. And that's what we want so desperately for you, that you will have a long and lasting relationship with him, so that when this temporary life ends, you will be in eternity with him. You can walk through this life, live a life of holiness, hand in hand with the Savior. And that's what we want for you. So my encouragement is for you to really invest in this program and to take it seriously, because it can really do a lot for your life. Know that I love you, each and every one of you. I am proud of you. It has been my pleasure to be your Core Cadet liaison from DHQ for the last 5 years. And so I want you to hear that I love you, and keep your eyes on Jesus. It's the most important thing that you can do.